But it's a lot to take in, a lot of struggles. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing my struggles and what I went through trying to build my brand, Hap Apparel. So sharing my struggles as a small brand starting off, because there's a lot that you deal with. There's a lot of problems you face. There's a lot of issues. You know, you have no rep, you have no customers, you have no budget. You know, unless you have those things. I didn't when I was starting up, so I had some capital, some budget, but it's like, where do you go? Where do you spend your money? Where do you invest? Welcome to the channel. My name is TerRon, also known as High Conscience. Be sure to check me out on Instagram and TikTok. But I created this channel because I wanted to share the startup process, and I wanted to document the journey of building my brand, Hap Apparel. Okay, Hap Apparel. The idea was founded and birthed in 2016, and it didn't really start to be a real vision until just recently, 2019, 2020, really going strong. But a quick background on who I am. Like I said, my name is TerRon, also known as High Conscience, and I am from Minneapolis. I lived in Las Vegas. Right now I live in Minnesota, and I'm a content creator. I do a podcast. I document my life. I take photos and do videography. I do graphic design, and I have a brand that I'm introducing to you all called Hap Apparel, okay? And in this video series, I want to be sharing all the things that go into a brand. You see it firsthand happening, and also for those that rock with the brand, Hap Apparel, seeing the come up. One thing I have to stress is utilize as many free resources as possible. Anything at your hands, at your fingertips that you can use that's not costing you money up front. Free trials, word of mouth, you know, free promotion, free platforms, making videos, making pictures. You don't have to do paid promotions, okay? You can push the word of mouth yourself. It's all about how willing you are to push towards your vision. Now, I have a background in graphic design, photography. I got my first DSLR camera back in 2012. And I went to the School of Graphic Design, the Art Institute. My background in photography and graphic design really did contribute and help for me to get a lot of things done on my own without having to hire them out. Even though I don't disagree with hiring out, I actually recommend that. If you can free up time and not have to, you know, do the work yourself, that's just gonna help you be more efficient. So, you know, starting off as a small brand isn't necessarily a bad thing. Everybody starts off small unless you just have the capital to just start off doing your thing. But I know there's a lot going on right now in society with this whole epidemic, you know, but I wouldn't let that hold you up from building your brand and building awareness. Our brand is officially scheduled to launch on Earth Day, April 22nd, 2020. Now, we are still gonna launch our site, but depending on social and economic issues, will depend on when product will, you know, be sent out, but we'll wait and write it out until that day. If you do want to stay up to date on our release and any tips and catch some rewards before our release, we're doing some awesome giveaways and stuff like that. Check out the link in the description to the site, Hap Apparel, and then you can sign up to our text community, our newsletter. You can stay informed. You'll never miss a beat. One of those struggles, of course, like any other brand starting out, regardless if it's a clothing brand, is your budget, okay? You want to sell product, but you don't have money to buy the product, or you don't have money to pay the people that you want to have involved with the product. So where do you go from there? Well, when you have no budget, you have not that many resources. So then you have to start getting creative. Now, one thing I did was I listed pictures of the product on my site already and then offer them as a pre-order. Now, I wouldn't recommend that unless you've already tested out your product, you've had it in your hands, you've dealt with this resource before, this source before, and you stand by them. You know, there's a lot of drop shippers out there that are just taking images from sources, pasting them, selling the product. They never touch the product. You know, not discrediting all drop shippers out there, but so that's one thing I recommend you can try doing if you found a good product already. And, you know, your budget only allowed you to get one or two to test them. You know, if you stand by it, take some pictures if you can, even with your phone. You can rent a camera. There's a good website called Borrow Lenses. You can borrow lenses. You know, there's resources that you can have available to you. Now, as far as free goes, if you know somebody you can borrow something from, if they're nice enough, just don't wreck it, obviously. You know, you can do that. A lot of times though, you got to get out there and just connect, which is something that I've been trying to do more often. Just spread awareness about your brand. You are your brand. So everywhere you go, anyone you interact with, is an opportunity to share your brand with. And you never know, they could reject it. 9 out of 10 people might not care, but all it takes is that one person to lead to another person, to lead to another person. And then before you know it, you know, your brand has viewers and it has eyes on it. So word of mouth is free. It costs no money to do that. Friends and family support, if you got that, that's awesome. A lot of people don't have that. So then you just have to, like I said, get out there and network. If you're at the grocery store in line, hand someone your business card. If you don't have money to go print business cards, I'm sure you can get some paper, a bundle of paper for a few bucks at Michael's, right? Get a nice card stock, go to the library, find an online design on like canva.com, print that out, cut them, make your own business cards. You got to get creative. So it's all about utilizing as much low cost, low budget resources as possible. I say utilize free also so strong because one thing like starting out, a lot of people do, which I did this too, is like you'll stand by your product and your brand, but you'll have bought a lot of things that you don't even know if you'll need. Like I remember I bought a bundle of mailers, I bought like shipping things and hang tag, like I bought all these things that come to find out now I'm not even gonna use, and two, I didn't even need back then because I was preparing for something that wasn't ready yet, if that makes sense. So all I'm saying is don't be in such a rush to buy supplies and buy what you think you may need before you spread the awareness of your brand first. So that's kind of what I'm focusing on now. And that's what influenced me to start this channel and to start this video series is I want to document the process of building this brand, because there's a lot of glory that people see, but a lot of people don't see the grit and the grut and the dirt and the mud that you go through and what it really takes, you know? So it's all about, you know, trying to be an entrepreneur as well. So that's the goal. But another struggle you may face is content, you know, trying to create content specifically to apparel brands and small apparel brands. I would say like the small guy that this video is directed towards, or gal, whoever you are. If you're watching this video, you most likely have a phone or a computer. So if you have a phone, regardless of the quality of your camera, I'm sure you've been told this by multiple sources, just start taking pictures. But the only reason you might not be doing that is because you may feel like your picture quality isn't as good as what you've been seeing. Now that may be true, but what's halting you is that insecurity of your quality of work. So put the work out there and get some feedback. Just because the picture quality might not be A1 in a super high def, you know, cinematic video, doesn't mean what you're showcasing someone might not care about. So have a good story behind your brand as well. Like for instance, my brand, which I have another video on, the story in the background and the whole meaning behind Hap Apparel and how it was founded and all that. I'll go into that in this video, but in short, you know, my brand stands for creating something sustainable for the future. You know, as a millennial, I feel like the majority of our world neglects our future and our kids' future, and I don't want to neglect that. Now, we wear clothing every day and our clothing makes a statement. So I want to make a statement with the clothing I wear that says, hey, I care about where I live at. And not only that, I'm motivating and inspiring myself and others to care as well. And it's a lifestyle. Hap is a lifestyle, conscious lifestyle. Just, create content, just take pictures, take videos. A real good thing I recommend is if you can get someone you know to take pictures and video on your brand as well, and then to add some flavor on top of that, if they can do like a written review or like an audio review or any type of good genuine feedback, use that and share that with your audience. You know, I highly recommend that. Starting off as a small brand, there's a lot of struggles we face as small brands, but ultimately to get through all these struggles is you got to have adversity. Okay, you have to believe in your brand, have adversity, and oversee any challenge that might be in your way. If you stand by it, it will succeed. And if you're relentless and you are trying to better yourself and you're trying to make something become of this, it will work out. You know, just stick with it. Be patient. You know, my idea actually started in 2016. It's 2020 now. So I'm 4 years later and I'm still starting. So it's like, it's a process. But for me, it was an off and on thing. I haven't been consistent with it this whole time. I would say my rebirth of Hap Apparel started probably early 2020. So this year. And this year I'm revamping everything and I'm documenting the process. And in this video, like I said, I'm sharing the struggles of small brands and how to overcome these struggles. If you guys are interested in more tips starting out, if you want to know more about what I went through and my failures and how you can avoid that, be sure to subscribe to the channel because I'll be making videos related to all of that, you know, sources. I'll be sharing some design tips. I'll be sharing some content tips and how to really create media for your brand, okay? There's all types of sources and ways to build brand awareness, but particularly in creating media. So using cameras, phones, and design, graphic design. So subscribe for more videos like that on the way. Thank you guys for watching. Hap Apparel, this is High Conscious, bringing a video to you guys. See you guys next time. Thank you.